Let's talk about money and how money can actually be an obstacle to making your dreams come true. Welcome to the What Could Go Right podcast. What could go right? I could say it right.
We could say it right. That would be.
On this podcast, we talk about how to make midlife more meaningful by thriving as a person, as a partner, and as a parent. I'm Emily Orton.
And I am Eric Orton.
And in 2014, we bootstrapped a year on a sailboat with our 5 kids, and then we reverse engineered a 7-part template for going after big dreams. And we've done it again and again, everything from writing a book to climbing cliffs to traveling the world. And we created this podcast to help you master midlife.
Yes. So before we get into how money can be an obstacle to your dreams, I want to talk about Fezziwig Day. For those of you that don't know, also quickly, Emily mentioned our book. The book is 7 at Sea. If you haven't read it, it's really great. You should definitely read it and give it an Amazon review.
Yeah, if you don't trust us, check the Amazon reviews and see if you're interested.
So Fezziwig Day is coming up, and our boat that we live on was named Fezziwig, and we won't get into what that means right now. You can read the book. But February 8th is Fezziwig Day, and so as we approach Fezziwig Day, we want to celebrate, and we want to celebrate with you. Just so you know, we celebrate Fezziwig Day by eating cinnamon rolls.
And what's wrong with that? Who doesn't want to do that?
Wherever we are in the world, we and our children all eat cinnamon rolls on that day, because that was one of our favorite comfort foods when we first moved aboard and we were really struggling and trying to figure out life. So here's what we want to do. Discovery calls. You've heard me talk about them before. You go to our website, theawesomefactory.nyc/discovery. A discovery call is for you. It's a way to discover what's possible in your life, how you can make your midlife as meaningful as possible.
And how much does it cost, since we're talking about money today?
The price to you today, right now, is the low price of absolutely nothing at all.
No money whatsoever.
It's free. No money whatsoever. So you can schedule a discovery call for free. And here's the fun part. For the first 10 people that hear this and sign up for a discovery call, we are going to send cinnamon rolls directly to your door, our treat. How's that sound? You want to party with us?
I love it. Cinnamon roll party across the nation.
Okay.
This is only for residents in the U.S. These are U.S. addresses.
We're not shipping cinnamon rolls to Australia or
Sorry, guys. We can definitely send you our recipe.
Anyway, okay. So /discovery. Check out the new website. Emily did a great job revamping it, and also and you'll get cinnamon rolls. So sign up. First 10 people to sign up, and happy Fezziwig Day in advance.
Okay, let's talk about money. I mean, cinnamon rolls are fun, but I think
money is even more fun than cinnamon rolls.
I don't know. Controversial. So money, and so many people think you got to have money first and then you can dream big. But sometimes that belief can actually block you from bursting out of your comfort zone. Sometimes that is actually an excuse, and sometimes it can really trip you up when you're trying to get to a big dream.
I'm going to talk about what we come across often as we've been through this same hurdle, and we come across it often when we coach folks. A lot of couples and individuals get on with us and they say, we try to get to bedrock and we're trying to help them discover what their dream is. And they say, well, I want to run a business, or I want to get into real estate. And we're like, okay, tell me more about that. And they're like, well, because once I have a really strong real estate portfolio and I've got all this passive income, then I can. Or once I build a business and sell it and I have a big windfall of money, then I can. And you realize that the goals that they're talking about, as you were just saying, like if you took it at face value, the majority of the people that we coach want to be an entrepreneur, and that's not a bad goal. We're entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah, some people genuinely want that, but most of the people we talk to are just saying it because that's the hurdle.
They think that's how they're going to get the money to do their actual dream. And so they come up with these shadow dreams. And anyway, so it can actually block you from thinking of what you actually want, because you're just saying like, well, first step is to get the money to do it. Totally not true.
Yeah, so you can hack that and say, like, so say you go down that natural path and you start thinking of all the ways you imagine you're going to get money, so you can then do what it is you actually are interested in and enthusiastic about and that's on your heart, however you describe those aspirations that would help you be more enthusiastic about the life you're living and what you're contributing. You can start down that path, making your money earning plans. And then where you really want to focus on is, what do you want the money for? And that's fine if it's like a crutch to help you get to what it is you actually want. But most people talk about money because they're trying to figure out how. And it's really important first to focus on what. So what do you want the money for? If money were no object, if you had $1 billion, like, what is it that you actually want to experience and contribute in the world? That's what we want to get to. And then once you know that, there are so many more creative ways to get there that might not take as much money as you think.
Can I share a story from, help me remember the name of this book. It's The Vagabond.
Yeah, Rolf Potts.
Yeah, what's the
Vagabonding.
name it's called Vagabonding.
Excellent. Such a good book.
Our daughter Karina gave us this book, and
so she let us borrow it.
Yeah.
We gave it to her and she let us borrow it.
So I'm reading it and I'm going to paraphrase this. There's a story where it's talking about the movie Wall Street, which I don't remember seeing. It was kind of like a 1980s movie, and I think Charlie Sheen was in it. And in the scene, as it's described in the book, he's saying to, they're all kind of miserable in their Wall Street jobs and just grinding out, long hour days and weeks. And he says, yeah, I'm just going to make a pile of money and then I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go ride my motorcycle across Mongolia. And it's kind of this exotic, adventurous dream. And the guy writing the book, he's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Because he says, do you know how little money it takes to ride a motorcycle across Mongolia? Yeah, you buy a flight to wherever you go to start riding your motorcycle across Mongolia. And then you're probably going to buy a used motorcycle there, which is not going to cost a lot of money. And then your main expense is going to be gas and food in Mongolia, which is also going to be not a lot. And so it's like, okay, let's just say this guy's wildest dream costs somewhere between $2,000 and $10,000. Like the whole reason he's grinding out his prime years is to do this thing that's going to cost a few $1,000s. And so to your point, Emily, which is saying like, you don't need to, retire with a pile of, money or, like have a 7-figure windfall to go ride your motorcycle across Mongolia. You just say like, I actually just need a few $1,000s and a window of time to do it in.
And how much do you think it would be worth to that Wall Street impresario, Wall Street trader, whatever, to be able to have a conversation with someone to let them know what's actually possible for them in their life, that they're taking the hard way around and they could save not only thousands of dollars, but
thousands of hours.
And actually get after the things that they want to be doing and having new experiences and meeting new people. And so anyway.
And, I don't want
to just a little shout out to those mentors that come along in our life. And if we can be those mentors for you, great. But if you find somebody else who helps you see, like, it doesn't have to be as hard as you think it has to be. Let me save you some years.
As we like to say in our family, why make it hard when you can let it be easy? Mm-hmm. And so not to hammer this too hard, or, try to drive it home too hard. What we found in our own personal adventures, yes, we lived on a sailboat, just so you know, for less than it cost us to live on land. I'll just say that, details in the book. And we found all kinds of ways to travel the world that were outside of the need for money. We just found creative ways to do it. And we love talking about it. We love teaching people. That's one of the things we do when we coach. But I would just say that, like, to your point, what do you want the money for? And don't let hitting some arbitrary number of $1 million or $5 million or $100,000, whatever, hitting some arbitrary number be, oh, well, that's the tripping point where we actually start to do the actual dream. Because then that's just that's just a moving target that will always be, once you get there, you're like, oh, well, it's actually, I can't walk away from this money making machine right now. Now I'm entangled in it.
Golden handcuffs.
Anyway.
I have one other question about money
Yeah.
that maybe we could talk about this idea for a minute. And that is, how does a big dream or a really ambitious undertaking help us if we are in a money pinch? It's not like, oh, I need to get this much money so that I can do my dream, but I'm in a hole and I'm feeling pretty discouraged about trying to get out of it. I think a lot of people are in that situation right now with interest rates the way they are and all of that stuff that's going on with our economy. So that can be another one where someone might say like, oh, I don't really.
Let's paint a picture.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of credit card debt,
Mm-hmm.
or you've got a crushing mortgage, or you've been laid off, or what other terrible financial things can happen, or
yeah, maybe
you have a bunch of medical bills. There's been a medical situation come up in your family that's required a lot of expensive treatment,
or whatever stocks you've invested in have gone south instead of north.
Okay.
Well,
right.
Whatever it might be.
Whichever of these scenarios you relate to, you're in a money pinch. So your question is why? How can
a big dream help when you're stuck worried about money?
Okay, I'll tell you what I think.
All right.
I think that, first of all, that is a very discouraging, frustrating, can be a worrisome place to be, full of anxiety or anxiousness, full of heaviness, bad sleep, bad health, and none of that is helpful. None of that is helpful. Whereas in a nutshell, when we are trying to run away from something, there's no joy in that. There's no joy in running away from something or trying to, you could say digging yourself out of a hole it's better than digging yourself into a hole, but it's not terribly inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a lot of draw. But allowing yourself to entertain the idea of something beautiful and fun and adventurous in your future and have something to move toward, that's motivating. That's exciting. That's lifting.
It's hopeful.
It's hopeful.
It's this isn't going to last forever. I'm resilient. Once I make my way out of this, I'm going to get out of the discouraging situation I'm in, but what I'm really looking forward to are the things that I'm going to do once I'm across that threshold. Like, I'm not just running away from this pain in my current situation. I'm actually deliberately and hopefully running towards something beautiful that I'm really excited about. And that is so empowering.
Yeah. And I think that as we run toward, because somebody might say, well, isn't that just delusional? Isn't it delusional to think that, I've got $50,000 in credit card debt or whatever, pick your number, or $200,000 in student loans, and to say, I'm going to think about, I'll just say riding my motorcycle across Mongolia, because that's the example we've been using, but isn't that just delusional? And if not, why not? Any thoughts?
Well, the thought I have is that when you talk to any financial planner or a debt expert, they're going to help you because it's emotional. How we feel about money is emotional. It's not just the cold, hard facts on a spreadsheet. And they are going to tell you, how is it going to feel when this burden isn't on your back anymore? And then what are you going to do with the money you're currently giving to lenders? What are you then going to do with it? Because it is a tried and true method for helping you keep your hopes up and be looking forward to something while you engage in these new habits that are required. I'm just saying it's not that inspiring to want to change your habits and change your mindset to avoid some pain. It's more inspiring to be looking forward to something, being like, oh, this is getting me closer to something I really want, instead of getting me farther away from something I don't feel comfortable with.
And I'll say this, I think one of the benefits of having something to move towards is that it puts you in a better frame of mind, like you said. And I think that what happens is that if you're hopeful, if you're optimistic, you're going to come up with better ideas, actually like practically more helpful, more progress making solutions than you ever will coming from a place of anxiety or worry or fear.
And it sharpens your focus about how you're going to use your resources, because, like, again, just the idea that it's not inspiring. If you're looking at, oh, am I going to, say, for example, take my family out to dinner tonight, and you're looking at, no, I'm not going to do it because I have this burdensome debt and I need to pay it off. So this money is going to go towards that instead. Then every time you're making that choice, you're thinking about this unsuccessful situation, this sort of negative situation. But if you're thinking, are we going to go out for dinner tonight? And you're maybe thinking, oh, we want to take a trip to Mongolia. We're just going to stay with the theme. Then you're like, ooh, would I rather go out to dinner, or would I rather be moving towards my trip to Mongolia? And it feels like a success. It feels like you're empowered and you're deliberately moving to something awesome that you're excited about. And yes, all along the way, you're paying off your debt, but it feels better. Right?
Not going out to dinner is moving you towards Mongolia.
Yeah. Whereas if you're in that discouraged mindset, you're always like, well, I deserve a little reprieve, and you'll be more likely to fritter money away on little things. But if you're like, oh no, we have like this really ambitious goal, and we're going to do this thing, me and my spouse, or me and my kids, or me and my buddy, or whatever it is, then you're like, yeah, I can wait. It just, like I said, it sharpens your focus and how you're going to use your time, your resources, and it really gives you something to look forward to. I say this from personal experience because when we decided that we wanted to live on a sailboat, the idea came when we were broke.
True story.
And
beyond broke,
and we had just learned of a lifelong diagnosis for our youngest, that we just found out she had Down syndrome, and we didn't know what it meant. And there were all kinds of uncertainties in our life, but we came up with this idea that we were really excited about, and the whole family got excited about it. And so when we had to start choosing between this and that, we always made the choices that moved us closer and closer to our dream of living on a sailboat. And for us, it took 4 years to do that first big dream. If we were going to run the cycle again, or if we could go back to 2010, knowing what we know now, we would have left so much faster.
True story.
And now we do everything faster because now we have a template, and that's what we coach people on. But the first go around, that dream was so exciting and so inspiring and so clear and real to us that we said yes to that dream over and over again. And it never really felt like we were saying no to anything, because we always wanted to get on a sailboat more than we wanted some of those short-term temporary options.
So there's 3 things we want to hit on this podcast episode. The first one that we've already talked about is, don't let your money goal block you from what your actual goal is. Think about, yes, no problem with earning money. We're big fans of money, but also, what do you want the money for? And it might cost less than you think, and there might actually be a way to do the thing without money at all. And we've certainly had that experience. So don't let your money goal become an obstacle or a blind spot for seeing your actual goal. Be willing to go past the money and say, well, assuming I had the money, or the thing didn't require money. So that's number 1. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is having an inspiring goal or a dream or a vision, or what we call an island, actually helps you get past your money obstacles, because it motivates you to have the financial discipline to improve whatever situation you're in. Whether it's getting out of debt or getting the cash together to make something happen, whatever it is, it's a lot better. It's better to have something to run towards than to run away from. So that's the second one. The third one, I think, is this. It can be a game. And this is a small example, but when we were in our apartment in New York, it was small. And because we had kids, a lot of the stuff that we owned ended up getting beat up. because we had 4 kids at 5.
Or we just got it when it was already pretty
or,
old,
or we got it secondhand
yeah.
And so Emily, you really, really wanted a new couch. You hated the way I can't remember which couch. We had various couches.
Whatever it was, we had never had a new couch, and I really wanted to like choose the couch.
Yeah, something that wasn't hand me down.
Yeah.
And so we made a deal, and I can't remember how the deal came about.
I remember.
But we made it a game.
Yeah, we made it a game
because
I really wanted a new couch, and Eric said, well, we're not just going to go get a new couch. And he said, how about if we make a game where if we can pay for a new couch from some kind of passive income, then that's when we'll buy the couch. Not when it's just coming straight out of our paycheck, but when it's this other approach to getting money. And so we made a very small investment in a show that gave a return.
Yeah,
and
I was working in the theater industry, which is why we were in New York.
Industry. Yeah, and so when the royalty checks came, we were able to go buy a brand new couch. And I got it from IKEA. So, this isn't going to be in Architecture Digest magazine, but it was...
I remember. It was $800. Like, it was not like custom built couch or something. It was like an IKEA...
But that was a chunk of change.
It's a chunk of money. Yeah, $800 is $800.
Yeah, you could do a lot with that money. And it was the size and the shape and the color and with washable and everything. It was exactly what I wanted.
I think it was the first couch we ever paid for. Is that true?
No, our first couch was $25, and that was also a good one. But this
we've come a long
way. But anyway, it was a great couch. We all loved that couch, and that's how we did it. Though we made it a game. I was like, oh, that lets me know that at some point I am gonna get my couch, but I have to earn enough, passive income points that I can then transfer over to turn that into a new couch. And it was so awesome, and we both felt good about it when we got it. Didn't have to come out of our regular budget. It came out of this passive income. Yeah.
So the third one is let it be a game. Money, I know money is serious. Of course, it's real, and it makes real things happen, and it makes real things feel out of reach, all that. But if we can just lighten up a little bit and let it be fun and let it be a game, and maybe just try seeing it differently. Try letting it be not serious. Try letting it be whimsical or delightful. And maybe if we just think about money a little bit differently, we'll interact with it differently. And so anyway, let it be a game. So those are the 3 things. I would say just don't let the money goal block you from your actual goal. Have something to run towards instead of just run away from, and maybe have fun with it. Let it be a game. Anything else that you want to say about money today?
I don't want to say anything else about money today.
That's enough. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's enough for right now. There's so much that you can say. But I think if you found any value, had some good takeaways, we hope that you'll subscribe, give us a review, or maybe even the best thing. Maybe the algorithm loves reviews the best. But we'd love it if you would share this with somebody else who you think might benefit from it, or who you want to talk about these things with. Say, hey, why don't you listen to this podcast, and then we can talk about it, how we want to do some of these things in our life, modify their suggestions, whether we agree, disagree, and share it with someone you love.
So just to loop it back to the beginning, remember, Fezziwig Day is coming up February 8th. That's our personal family holiday, and we'd love to celebrate with you. So everybody that goes to theawesomefactory.nyc/discovery.
This will be in the links.
And signs up for a discovery call. The first 10 people are going to get cinnamon rolls delivered to your door by us.
People in the United States of America.
People in the United States. And
continental U.S.
Boy, lots of you're like a walking asterisk.
Like the fine print.
Yeah, you are the fine print. Also, if you want to sail with us in 2024, we've got another cool landing page. So just go to our website, theawesomefactory.nyc/sailing 2024. There's some great info there about our upcoming trips, or just the trips in general. and then we'll get on a call and we'll fill you in and see if it's a match. But
now's the time because they're 40 to 50% off.
yeah,
So
this year we're doing some deep discount stuff while we explore new places for us. Plus, it's the middle of winter, and it's so nice to have a warm sailing trip to look forward to as you sit through whatever January weather, February weather you're sitting through. I know it's cold here. So
yeah,
anyway,
for sure.
that's everything I got.
Hey, we always love to end this podcast by asking what could go right.
Thank you for listening.